Hello, my friends. This is The Art of Prepping. Hope you guys are doing good today. In this short video, I just want to cover two experiences that I've had over the past year and a half that were on my property, and one was just down the road about a half a mile from my property. And this is a very unusual thing for me. I typically don't have experiences like this at all. These two, they stand out in a very large way. Now, I've had some experiences over the years of not being able to figure out like what I heard in the woods or what I saw in the woods. There's been a few experiences that I'm really not sure what it was. You know, I mean, I've seen some things that they don't fit in any label that I have, and I've heard noises that, I mean, completely freak you out in the woods. But obviously, it probably came from certain types of animals, maybe even birds. You know that. They just make this noise, and for some reason I'm just not aware of that noise. But so I've had those experiences. But in terms of the sky, typically the sky is just the sky, you know, and I like to kind of like, you know, do sky watching because where I live at night, it gets really dark and there's not a great amount of light pollution. So I can see the stars very well, especially on a clear night. And if the moon isn't too bright, I mean, I can really see a lot. And so this was one of those nights. It was like a crescent moon, and it was a clear night. And I was looking up. I was just like maybe 20 feet in front of my house, looking up, and the sky was just really crisp. And I see this light. This light, you know, it was pretty far up in the sky, and it comes shooting straight down. And it almost came to the tree line that's behind my house. And then it does a U-turn. And then it comes up and it retraces about 50% of how much it came down, and it just disappears. And it was a really bright white light. Really bright. And I don't know if it was in quote unquote outer space or if it was in our atmosphere here on Earth, but it was something that you couldn't just not notice. I mean, it all happened within probably about a 5-second time period. So, I mean, if you weren't really looking for it, you wouldn't see it. And it was just kind of here and there and gone, you know, and boom. And, you know, it was over. But yeah, it was really wild. I mean, things in nature don't do those kind of movements and turns and things. And they just, especially they don't just disappear. But I saw that and it really kind of blew my mind that night. And I stayed out there for hours trying to see if I could see it again, but it never happened. And then there was another experience a little over a year ago that was like, really took the cake. You know, I mean, this thing was mind blowing. Like, I so wish I had the ability to take a picture, but it was like at 1 a.m. and it was just really dark out. I was driving somewhere. Sometimes I go out for a drive at night. If I just can't fall asleep, I'll just go for a real quick drive, maybe just, you know, a few miles even, and I'll come back home. And then for some reason, I sleep better. So I was out just taking this really short drive, and I was about a half a mile from my house, and I look up in the dark sky, and there was almost no clouds in the sky at all. And I see this massive, and I mean, I can't really overemphasize that word. You know, it was just massive black triangle. And on the ends of the triangle were these blinking white lights. It was massive though. And it was almost hard to actually see like the entirety of this thing because it was so dark out and it was all black. You know, the whole triangle was black, and there wasn't just enough contrast to make out a triangle, but you couldn't see almost any details at all. And what was so crazy is that to the left of it, there was this small like passenger plane that was, I don't know, escorting this large triangle or what. But there was this small plane, and it was going the same speed, and it was going extremely slow. It was almost like, from my perspective of looking at it, it almost seemed like it was almost like at a crawl, like it was barely moving. But what I realized though, once I got moving again, because it started moving away from me after a few minutes of watching it, and I drove down further and stopped again. And I think it was just the angle that I was looking at it. It was probably going at an average pace, but it still wasn't going very fast. But it was moving, but it was kind of moving away from me. So I didn't have that perspective. speed. But when I stopped the second time, I was able to see it more from a side profile, and it was covering some ground, but once again, still at a very slow pace. And it wasn't really that high up either. It was kind of hanging pretty low. Like, it was flying low. And I mean, it was just so large though. I mean, it's just insane. And I was trying to figure out, where is this thing flying to? Because like, I was looking at the nearest air bases and stuff, or military bases, and it was going like in the opposite direction, in fact, of the nearest, military base that has an airfield and all that. And I don't know where it was going or what it was, but I mean, it was like, you know how when you see something for the first time that you've never seen before, it's just like, it's like a shock to the system, to the system. And that's what kind of happened to me. I was like almost like in shock that I was actually seeing what I was seeing. I had almost a touch of numbness, and I almost didn't want to believe that I am seeing this. It's just so amazing. And I so wish I had evidence that I saw this, but honestly, I did have that experience, and it was just tremendous. Now, it could have obviously been something that was military, could be classified, a ship or something. I don't know. I'm not saying that, it's alien or something. I'm just saying though that it was just very different than anything I've ever seen. It was wild. So anyways, I just put that out there. Those are two experiences that I've had. And I'd be really curious though, if you've had experiences, looking up at the sky at night, if you've seen things that are just totally unexplainable or just very different. But yeah, I mean, I just find it's so fun, when you have the time to look up at the sky, especially if you're in a location that doesn't have a lot of light pollution, and just see what you can see. There's just so much out there. The universe is so large. Just our solar system is just unbelievable. And, then you step back and, try to contemplate our galaxy, and you're just like, whoa, it's hard to do, actually. It's just so big. But then the universe is just like something that our brains can't really contain. It's just so beyond. It's just so big. And everything is on a scale that is so beyond a human scale that we can't relate to it, it's hard to relate to any of it. So anyways, I just want to thank you guys very much for checking the video out. And if you've had any experiences, feel free to share it in the comment section. I hope you guys are doing great. You guys take care. Catch you later.